Key races to determine control of the Senate in Arizona and Nevada have yet to be called as both states race to count hundreds of thousands of ballots that have yet to be processed. It still may be hours or days before enough ballots are counted in those states to determine who won the Senate and gubernatorial races in both states. There are also still many key congressional races uncalled in California and Colorado that will determine what the House looks like when the new Congress is seated in January. The unofficial results and lingering uncertainty about who will control Congress next year hasn't prevented Republican apprehension about the election results, where an expected Republican wave never materialized. The lackluster GOP results have raised new questions about House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy's path to the speakership and added a new layer to the looming 2024 feud between former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's what you should know as the counting continues. What is taking so long to count ballots in key states? The biggest reason for the delay is the way that each state handles the ballots outside of those cast at polling places on Election Day, including both early votes and mail-in ballots. In Arizona, for instance, there are still roughly 600,000 ballots to be counted. The majority of those, about 400,000 ballots, are in Maricopa County, the state's most populous county that includes Phoenix. Las Vegas, Nevada, November 08. People vote at the Meadows Mall on November 8, 2022 in Las Vegas, Nevada. After months of candidates campaigning, Americans are voting in the midterm elections to decide close races across the nation. Photo by Ethan Miller. Getty Images. The latest on the 2022 midterm elections of those ballots. About 290,000 were dropped off at vote centers on Election Day. Bill Gates, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors chairman, said on CNN Thursday. Those ballots have to be processed before they can be counted, leading to a lag time in tabulating. We're now getting into what we call late earlies, so these are early ballots that we would have received over the weekend, or, in specifically 290,000 that were dropped off on Election Day at our vote centers, Gates said. In addition, Maricopa County has about 17,000 ballots that were attempted to be counted on Election Day, but were not read by the tabulator because of a printer error, and those ballots still need to be counted, too. In Pima County, Arizona's second most populous, officials said there were roughly 159,000 ballots left to be counted as of Wednesday evening, and the county doesn't expect to complete the count until November 14 or 15. The uncounted ballots include more than 54,000 early ballots still being processed by the recorder's office. The county expects to tabulate about 20,000 ballots per day and will post results at 6 p.m. local time each day. Nevada mail-in ballots still arriving in Nevada. The state law allows mail-in ballots to be received through Saturday, as long as they were postmarked by Election Day, meaning counties are still receiving ballots to be counted. Clark County, the state's largest that includes Las Vegas, received more than 12,000 postmarked ballots from the post office on Wednesday, Clark County Registrar Joe Gloria said. Top shot voting booths are seen at Glass Elementary School's polling station in Eagle Pass, Texas, on November 8, 2022. Photo by Mark Felix AFP. Photo by Mark Felix AFP via Getty Images. How election officials staved off chaos at polling places Tuesday. In addition, counties in Nevada have tens of thousands of mail-in ballots that were dropped off on Election Day in drop boxes located at polling places. Clark County said that its Election Day drop boxes contained nearly 57,000 mail ballots. Washoe County, which includes Reno, received close to 18,500 ballots on Tuesday from voting centers and the post office, as well as about 4,000 additional ballots in the mail Wednesday, according to Jamie Rodriguez, the county's interim registrar of voters. Bethany Drysdale, a spokeswoman for the county, told CNN Thursday there still were about 20,000 ballots that needed to be counted. More mail-in ballots will arrive today, but we can't estimate how many, she said. Rodriguez told reporters at a Wednesday press conference that the county was still adjusting to the use of mail-in ballots and got more than they did during the primary earlier this year. Not that we weren't expecting a large number of ballots coming in. Seeing 2 full shelves of ballots, though, is a little more than we expected, and I think a little harder for us now than in the primary, Rodriguez said. Trump vs. DeSantis. The lackluster performance of several Trump-endorsed candidates in battleground states has cast new doubts about Trump's potential 2024 campaign launch that's expected at an event scheduled for Tuesday. Donald Trump, Florida. 221,108 Trump grapples with 2024 questions amid GOP midterm letdown. At the same time, DeSantis' resounding re-election victory in Florida is fueling calls for him to capitalize on his momentum and challenge Trump for the 2024 nomination. The beginning of the presidential jockeying right after the midterms end is nothing new, but the potential fight in the Republican Party looking for 2024 is particularly noteworthy after Trump teed up the night before the election that he would be making an announcement at a Florida rally the next Tuesday. The Trump-DeSantis showdown has been simmering for months now, but it could burst into the open as the 2024 primary season officially gets underway. A Trump advisor told CNN Wednesday that DeSantis was already having a moment, but the spotlight just quadrupled in intensity after Tuesday's election. After red wave washes out, McCarthy faces tougher path. McCarthy is moving swiftly to lock down votes needed to claim the Speaker's gavel in the next Congress, as Republicans are still closing in on a majority in the House, even after Democrats had a better-than-expected night on Tuesday. CNN has not yet projected a Republican takeover of the chamber. But the ultimate size of a Republican majority could determine how difficult it will be for McCarthy to become Speaker, as a narrow majority could prompt the pro-Trump House Freedom Caucus to stand in the way of McCarthy's leadership ambitions. A source familiar with the House Freedom Caucus's deliberations told CNN on Wednesday morning there are around 24 current and incoming members willing to vote against McCarthy if he doesn't offer them concessions. They are actively discussing putting up a nominal challenger to face McCarthy in next week's leadership elections, in an effort to force the GOP leader to give them more influence in how the House operates, the source said.